Coach Smith called a great game, and 18 is just a special player, Justice Floyd. He did an amazing job, and we just put it on him and the offensive line, and they did a great job.
All right, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Jair and Jacob.
All right, thank you, Tyler, and congrats to Permian on an incredible win. We're going to have more on that game coming up on our YouTube show in a little bit. We want to thank Jersey Grill Pizza for feeding our Friday night crew. You can use your phone to scan this QR code. It will take you to our CBS 7 YouTube page. You can watch about another half hour, Jair, maybe even longer, that we'll talk about tonight's high school football games. If you didn't see your favorite team, we will cover them coming up in our bonus blitz on YouTube. Again, you can watch that live starting in just a few minutes. We'll see you over there. Lauren, have you started the...
Live from the leader of high school football coverage in the Permian Basin, this is CBS 7's Friday Night Blitz. Brought to you by Odessa College, United Supermarkets, and Dr. Pepper. Now here's CBS Sports Director Jacob Brandenburg and Jair Brooks Davis.
High school football is everything!
All right, bonus blitz. Welcome back to the Permian Basin's most in-depth and most experienced high school football show. Games that we didn't talk about on CBS, we're going to get to here live on YouTube. Jair, another crazy night of Texas high school football.
Yes, there is a lot to discuss, Jacob, especially starting with our 6A schools. I mean, this is very exciting to talk about, and this is very tricky to talk about.
A wild night of games, and the district seemed confusing after last week's first set of district games in 2-6A. Things got even crazier tonight. And of course, we had one of the best rivalries in all of the country going on tonight with Odessa Permian taking on Midland Legacy. This thing known worldwide, Legacy, big favorites coming into this game after Permian lost to Odessa High last week. Mojo's opening drive, they give it to Justice Lara. He finds a hole, and Justice is loose. Are they going to catch him here? Just barely, but great start there for Mojo and a big gain at the goal line. Permian goes to Lara again. He's going to fall across the line. It was a late signal from the rest, but Justice knew it was a touchdown all along. 6-0, Mojo leads. Legacy's turn to answer. Marcos Davila, look at this pass, Jair. Picture perfect.
Okay.
And a great catch, too, by Aiden Serrano. Wow. Legacy goes up 7-6. Permian, they're trying to retake the lead here. Going to kick a field goal. This one never stood a chance. Blocked by Jace Colmia. Colmia always seems to make a big play.
Clutch Colmia, Jake.
It's a great nickname for him, Jair. Second quarter now, Davila facing some pressure, but watch him escape. Spins out of it, and now it's the scramble drill. Nick Moore gets open in the back of the end zone and makes the catch for the touchdown. Davila showing off why he's the number 10 ranked quarterback in the whole country.
Can't be surprised at that.
Committed to Purdue, going to be a Boilermaker. At least we think. It's not official till signing day. Later, Legacy, they're going to try a field goal. This one not blocked, and it's good. How about from 35 yards? Jason Maltos kicks it through. Permian would drive with less than a minute before halftime. They got a chance. It's a halfback pass. Throw to the end zone, though. Picked off by Colin Brazel from Midland Legacy. Great one-handed interception. Rebels led 17-6 at half. But Permian would come back in this game. They drove down at the end of this game. We'll show you what that looked like and what it sounded like there from Astound Broadband Stadium. And so with that 2-point conversion pass by Jacob Garcia, Permian wins this game 32-31. They stun the Rebels.
This is a heartbreaker for Midland Legacy, Jake. It just really is. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
It was tough. Obviously, when you had a 17-6 lead at half, Mojo rattles off 26 points in the second half. And again, you saw the gutsy play call there. They scored the short touchdown run, about 10 seconds left in that game, and then they decide to go for two. They could kick extra point to tie, go for two and the win. Permian goes for two in the win, and they win this game.
But Jacob, also think about this. The Permian Panthers held Legacy to 14 points in the second half. That is crazy to think about with this offense.
That's true. Legacy known for their offense, so explosive, 63 points last week. Mojo holds them basically to half of that in their win tonight. Let's go out to Tyler Poglich, who talked with Permian's head coach, Jeff Ellison.
Yeah, Jair and Jacob, we're joined here right now with Permian's head coach, Coach Ellison. First, congratulations on the big win. Coming into second half, you guys are down 17-6. What are you telling the guys in the locker room?
To
keep fighting. I mean, and we talked about this all week as far as it, you know, we have more than ever blocked everything out, and our kids are really coming together as a football team, and that was the message all week. We're going to come out here and we're going to do this together as a team and fight for each other, and we did that. And you could just have a different feel this week, especially in the first half. You know, we were down, but that, you know, the feel in the locker room in the second half was very confident. No doubts. We knew we had to come back out and execute, and we did.
And you know, the last drive of the game, you guys have 8 minutes left, and you held that clock for those 8 minutes. Tell me what was going through your mind during that last drive for you guys, and especially getting down here at the goal line.
Keep running it. I mean, just our offensive line did a great job. Coach Smith called a great game, and 18 is just a special player. Justice Floor, he did an amazing job, and we just put it on him and the offensive line, and they did a great job.
All right, congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Jair and Jacob.
All right, thank you, Tyler. Congrats again to Coach Ellison and the Panthers. And Jair, we're still a little shocked. The shock had maybe started to wear off from last week's Odessa High overtime win over Permian. Everybody this week was writing the Panthers off, maybe yourself included. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here.
Oh, come on,
More
dude.
your faith in the Rebels. How about that?
I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, you're exposing me here to our YouTube
Legacy
followers.
5-1. You and a lot of people believed Legacy would win this game. Maybe it'd be close, but everyone figured Legacy would win. But this is my 6th season covering football here in the Permian Basin. We've covered this rivalry every year of those 6 seasons, and I've been telling people every year the team that's not expected to win, the team that's the underdog, supposed to maybe get blown out, ends up winning the game. 5 of 6 years now that that's happened. You know, you go back to 2018, 2019, whatever. Permian does it again this week, pulling off an upset and shocking their most bitter of rivals.
Yes, but also give me a chance just so I can back myself. I got to back myself up here because you're throwing me under the bus in front of our viewers now. Here's the thing. Last week, you know, you were at Odessa High and Permian. You said that the Permian defense wasn't looking too sharp.
They struggled. They gave up, 49 points in that game?
49 points. 49 points. Actually, I'm going to go with 42 points because, Permian fumbled, and I mean, Odessa High, I'm sure, had a good field position. I was there. But what I'm trying to say is this. That Permian defense struggled last week, and then you're also going up against a very high-powered offense with the Legacy Rebels. So I did have my faith in the Rebels heading into this game. So I do need to back myself up here. And
Permian's defense, gave up 31, but made enough plays, held Legacy kind of in check there in the first half, second half as well, obviously, and enough for that Permian offense, which continues to look better every week, it seems. They looked really good against OHS last week. It wasn't enough for the win. Permian offense really, I think, has figured some things out.
Yes, and right before we move on, because we still have more games to talk about, I do want to say this. I was I stopped in by practice this past Monday, saw Coach Ellison, and he said after last week's loss to Odessa, he said that the sun came up on Saturday and the sun came up on Monday morning, and I'm telling you, the sun is coming up Saturday morning, tomorrow morning. Actually, I mean, in his world right now, the sun is still shining, actually.
Oh, yes.
The sun is still shining.
The sun is shining very brightly over the Permian Panthers tonight and probably all weekend.
Congratulations, Coach Ellison, on your win over Midland Legacy. But let's go on to the crosstown rival, the Midland High Bulldogs. So Midland High was in Friendship. Bulldogs possession. Elijah McCoy, he gets the handoff, and he gets past the defenders. He finds his way to the end zone for the touchdown. Looks like he may have been a little short there, Jake.
No, never.
But Friendship, they have a very powerful offense with the passing game. That's Leighton Stone with a touchdown reception in the end zone. But them dogs always have an answer. Elijah McCoy with another handoff, and he's practically untouched on his way to the end zone for another touchdown. Let's just check out the final score. It was Midland High. They got the win 38-28 over the Friendship Tigers.
Midland High stays undefeated this year, 7-0 now. The Bulldogs rolling, and this was a major test for them because Friendship has a fantastic offense.
Yes, I mean, but one thing that I did see, especially when it came to the Pigskin preview, is that Midland High, they are very big on that defense, Jake, so this actually doesn't shock me.
And Midland High can kind of control the ball. I think I saw that Friendship had something ridiculous like 5 turnovers in this game as well. You turn the ball over that much, you're gonna lose games, and credit to the Midland High defense for forcing them into those mistakes.
Absolutely. Coach Fortune, I saw you on Wednesday night. Congratulations on that win.
And it should be said, because of Legacy's loss now, Midland High, one of 2 undefeated teams in the district. Odessa High, they could join Midland High if they won their game tonight.
Let's just take it over to Ratliff Stadium, Jacob. I was there. So the Odessa Broncos, they were coming in fresh off of their defeat over the Permian Panthers. First quarter, Sebastian Castaneda, he gets the handoff and he makes his way to the end zone to give the Broncos a 7-0 lead. Now, San Angelo would come back to tie it. Here, Odessa with the ball. Quarterback Mikey Cota throws to his left, and that's the man himself, Dady Green, with the reception before slipping a defender. Now, Green has no one in front of him as he will take this all the way to the end zone for the touchdown to give Odessa High a 14-7 lead. Now, the Bobcats, they would go up 21-14, but Mikey Cota will air this out to the big boy, Ivan Carrion, with the touchdown as Odessa ties us up. So the Broncos would get a stop on defense on the next drive. Big Red in the red zone. Mikey Cota takes it all by himself for the TD to put Odessa back on top. Now at the half, San Angelo led 28-27. Now let's just check out the final score. It was Odessa. They get the win once again in overtime, 71-70. I don't know what's going on over there at Odessa High. They just love these overtime dramatics, Jacob.
I didn't know it was basketball season already.
I mean, well, hey, the NBA, they're working out. They're in the preseason, but I don't know. Maybe Dusty Ortiz is taking something from the NBA and bringing it to his football team.
71 points, but like you said, these Odessa Broncos have something about them. Every game they play has been decided by one score, and for the most part, they've come out on top of those games. 5-1 now, Odessa High is. They had one game canceled because of weather that they were trailing at halftime of that one. That one doesn't really count, though, because, again, weather delayed it. They're not counting it. 5-1 Odessa High, and more importantly, 2-0 in district play. Odessa High's got a real shot of making the playoffs now.
Yes, they really do. Jacob, I told you about this throughout the week. You're throwing me under the bus and everything like that when it came to Legacy and Permian, but I'm telling you, I told you that they have a very legitimate shot. But also, let's just take a look at this graphic here. Let's see who's coming up next for them, and that's the Midland High Bulldogs. That should be a fun one to watch next week. Two 2-0 teams in the same district going at it.
Guys, could you pop us back up here on camera here when we talk about these games?
Yes.
That's a good point, Jair, is that's a de facto, at least at this point, going to decide who takes sole possession of the lead in this district. Either Odessa High or Midland High is going to be 3-0 in district play after this week. Are you all right?
Yes. It's just the excitement. It's really building up.
Oh, my gosh.
The excitement is really building up on me. Excuse me, Jake. I'm sorry. Please continue.
But yes, District 2-6A has absolutely gone bonkers now with this the results from tonight's game, because we thought maybe we had to figure it out. You know, Friendship's going to be good, Midland High is going to be good, Legacy's going to be good. And now that's all turned on its head because Odessa High remains undefeated. Permian pulls a shocker on Legacy, so things are really a mess in this district. It's going to be fun to keep up with, though, over the next few weeks. Now, we had a great game tonight in 4A football. Two undefeated teams with rivals Monahans and Fort Stockton facing off. Jensen Young was at that game and brings us more.
It was the Monahans Lobos hosting the Fort Stockton Panthers, and both teams came into the game a perfect 6-0 in the season, but of course only one could leave undefeated. So let's check out some highlights. Monahans is the number 8 Class 4A school in Texas, and they would be the first to get on the scoreboard as Malachi Barnes gets the rock, takes it out wide. Check this out. He rolls over Fort Stockton's Kelvin Hero to get into the end zone. Panthers on the goal line now. Marco Garcia takes it himself and shoves his way through the line for the score. He ties the ball game up at 7 apiece. Lobos ball now. Chino Navarrete fakes the run, throws deep to Nathan Wessels for a second long ball of the day. This connection was amazing. Now bring out the red carpet. He is in for the score. Here comes Navarrete, this time on the quarterback keeper. Look at those blocks. He runs straight into the end zone. That is now 21-7 Lobos. Fort Stockton gets the ball, and Garcia tosses it to Cash Norman, who throws the ball to Gamma Corral in the back of the end zone. Fort Stockton puts up 14 on the first half, but Monahans would score again to go into the half with the lead 28-14, and they would hold on to win 56-21. All right, I'm here with Lobos head coach Fred Stow. Coach, congrats on the win. It was a big win, 56-21, and now still undefeated on the season. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I feel like our kids really worked their tails off this week, and they played really hard in the game. And you know, we blocked and tackled, and we did things the right way.
And it's still over 40 points scored every single game this season. Now, talk to me about that offense.
I just think our kids have been in it now for 5 years, and we can run a lot of different things, a lot of different formations, and we've got some guys who can execute, and we're blessed with some team speed. And those guys have done an amazing job, and our young offensive line has been outstanding this season.
Awesome. Well, Coach, congrats on the win. Monahans took the victory 56-21 over Fort Stockton. Guys, I'll toss it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Jensen. Monahans continues to be incredibly impressive.
I mean, What am I supposed to say, Jacob? I saw them in the playoffs last year. We know about Monahans. They're ranked in the state. I mean, I'm just not shocked at all. Come on.
Undefeated, number 8 in the state. In that same district with Fort Stockton and Monahans, obviously they're the top 2 in that district so far. Pecos, though, really nice win tonight, 59-19 over Fabens. Pecos really kind of asserting themselves as the 3rd team probably going to be coming out of that district.
Yeah, I mean, you have Fort Stockton, you have Pecos, you have Monahans. I mean, Pecos, they definitely need to keep up if they want to have a playoff spot. So this is a pretty solid win for them.
You've got the schools from Clint out there in the El Paso area as well, but I have faith that the Pecos Eagles can beat those teams and earn themselves a spot in the playoffs. All right, some other games tonight. Andrews was at home hosting Lubbock Estacado. Estacado, a very strong team this year. Andrews falls 52-14. Estacado improves to 6-1 on their season. Andrews, though, still a good chance that they can make the playoffs because there's a kind of a weak link in that district with San Angelo Lakeview. So you figure, hopefully, Estacado, Brownwood, Andrews, Big Spring would be your 4 playoff teams, probably, unless Big Spring can't beat San Angelo Lakeview. We'll get more on that later this season. All right, Greenwood, they were at home taking on Sweetwater. Here's a screen pass by Sweetwater. Can the Rangers bring down the running back? I don't think they can. They barely lay a hand on him as Sweetwater scores the touchdown there. Sweetwater would do a little surprise onside kick to get the ball right back. And here you see them getting around the edge to score again. Looks real bad for Greenwood here because in the first half they did start very slowly, but Greenwood would score plenty of points of their own in this game. 45-41, the final score. Good fight from the Rangers. They had won 2 games in a row, so a little setback here in district play, but they're another team to keep the eye on because, again, they real slow out of the gate, lost their first 5 games in the non-district slate, but they may have some things figured out here as they head into district play.
Shades of when I saw them take on Andrews, a very slow start offensively, but they were able to somehow put up over 40 points.
I mean, they've got a pretty good offense, and you've talked to their running backs who were player of the week for CBS 7 a few weeks ago. So yeah, Greenwood, they can do things again. First-year coach out there, so that's part of the growing pains, I think, for the Rangers. But again, we'll keep an eye on them through their district slate as they try to make a playoff push. All right, let's go and talk about our Band of the Week.
Here's tonight's Band of the Week, brought to you by Midland College.
We had Permian and Midland Legacy face off to be Band of the Week. Let's see who won. And the honor goes to Permian for the 2nd week in a row. They beat Odessa High last week. They beat another rival this week. Very lopsided. Legacy, I mean, again, I don't want to throw shade on people as I did poor Jair earlier, but not a great turnout from the Rebels compared to what the Panthers did. Over 14,000 votes for Mojo, our CBS 7 Band of the Week.
And speaking of Midland, Jake, Argyle Liberty was in town, and so was Jason Witten. Now, Midland Christian possession, Colton Newsom to Briley Perez, back over to Colton, who airs this out over to Avery Morgan for the first down. Nice trickery from the Mustangs, but they didn't score on that drive. Now, Argyle ball, Cole Welliver finds Quentin Brown on the screen pass. He slips his way past the defense. He's going to take this all the way up the field for the touchdown to put Argyle on the scoreboard.
Christian had the angle there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Midland Christian, it just did not go well for them at all tonight. Here, Chase Garnett, he gets the handoff before rushing to the end zone for the touchdown, giving Argyle a 14-0 lead. Let's just check out the final score of this game. It was Argyle Liberty. They just stomped all over Midland Christian tonight with a 46-0 victory.
And you saw Jason Witten, head coach there for Argyle Liberty. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys tight end, Dallas Cowboys legend. Argyle's got a great team. They're state ranked, obviously, 7-0 so far this year. Midland Christian, this is, this is their first home game that they played in 5 weeks. I know it was homecoming for them, so probably not what they wanted to do on homecoming. They didn't get the treat of playing your typical homecoming opponent where you schedule somebody that, you can beat so that everyone leaves homecoming happy. They had to play a tough team tonight, and unfortunately did not go the Mustangs' way as they fall 46-0. Elsewhere tonight, Stanton was on the road at Littlefield. State-ranked Littlefield defeats the Buffaloes 60-21 in that same district. Coahoma, they were at home hosting Idalou. Coahoma, I know, been dealing with some injuries, and that probably showed on the scoreboard tonight as Idalou beats Coahoma 54-10.
And in more games tonight, it was Wink going up against Water Valley. Number 9 Wink, they got the win 37-0, and they are now 7-1.
You see Wink ranked number 9 in the state for 2A Division II. They had a really strange, low-scoring 1-point loss to Alpine earlier this year. That's the lone blemish on their season. But Wink, I think, has really figured some things out here after that loss.
Yeah, got to be very proud of them, especially with the graduation of Kenny Gibson.
And shout out to their running back that they discovered, a freshman, Kamad Fashone. We were wondering how to pronounce his name last week. Kamad Fashone. Told you might nickname that we're working on for him, the Mentone Express, is something I was told by the coaches out there as well. So if we want to throw that around, keep an eye on that. Wink, of course, one of those teams we expect to be covering for a while still as they make a deep playoff run. In that same district, Ira Ann was at home hosting Sterling City. The Braves, tight game, but they fall to the Eagles 28-25. Sterling City, just 2 years removed from playing 6-man football, now up in 11-man football. They've got a really strong team. It's going to be them and Wink, it looks like, to decide that district championship.
Yes, I saw Sterling City take on Odessa Compass, if I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
earlier in the season. So, yeah, this doesn't shock me at all. Sterling City, they just have a lot of talent on their team.
Also in that district, McCamey, El Dorado. McCamey, they've had a slow start this year, but it might be just in time for them to throw their name into that district title race as the Badgers beat El Dorado 41-34.
And in more games tonight, it was Sonora going up against Reagan County. It was Sonora, number 8. They defeated Reagan County 57-12.
And we know our Owls are a good team, a strong offense there for Reagan County. Last couple weeks, though, they've kind of been held in check. Sonora, they have a fantastic team, and coached by former Reagan County head coach Blake Weston. I just thought of that. So Coach Weston got to play his old team, and he's got a great team down there in Sonora, just outside of our area there on Interstate 10. Keep an eye on the Broncos because they may do some special things this year. Jair, I think as far as the 2A games go that we just kind of talked about, Wink obviously stands out. Ira Ann had a good start to the year, but now they've hit district play, things have gotten tougher for them. And I'm interested to see what happens with McCamey because they played some strong teams non-district. They played some bigger schools like Crane and lost those games. But the Badgers for the last 4 years have been a 10-9-win program. And so maybe not that kind of a record, but maybe they could finish that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if McCamey, battles their way back and, they still make the playoffs. But as for Ira Ann, to me, they're a very middle-of-the-pack team. I checked them out earlier, in August and everything like that. But that's a very tough district, and it's very tough to decide. They play teams twice. And, it's very hard to tell where Ira Ann is over there in Sanders.
Now, we talked about Sonora, heaped praises on them. They're in the same district as Forsan, and our Forsan Buffaloes have been playing great. They'd won 5 games in a row coming into tonight. Let's go to Armando Gomez, who was there at Forsan's game against Anthony.
Forsan comes out of the tunnel. We're on a 5-game winning streak. Anthony is on the road to face a red-hot Forsan team. As both teams meet in the middle in the coin toss, Forsan is looking to continue the hot streak. The quarterback, Nicholas Holloway, gets a free play to connect with his receiver, Colton Martinez. 3rd and goal, Holloway snaps the ball and he rolls to his right and throws a touchdown pass to Hayden Bolin. Forsan did not stop scoring. Holloway rolls to his left and finds his favorite wide receiver, Bolin, for a 65-yard touchdown. Anthony looking to respond back, but a fumbled snap from the quarterback causes a turnover on the first play of the drive. A handoff to Grant Roman for an easy walk-in touchdown. 3rd down and 17, Holloway rolls again to his left and finds Bolin to put the Buffaloes in scoring position. And scores an easy touchdown with his Grant Roman.
All right, thank you, Armando. Forsan, if you couldn't tell by those highlights, dominates this game and wins 60-14. Again, they lost the Howard County Bowl to start the year, have not lost since. 6 wins in a row for the Buffaloes.
Jake, I'm starting to think, time for a part 2 of Players of the Week?
Maybe. We may have to look into that. And again, something I want, a little fun fact for you. You see these teams are in the same district. Anthony, of course, is actually further to the north and west of El Paso. You think of El Paso being the end of Texas. Anthony's even a little further than that. So that's 5.5 hours away from Forsan, and they play in the same district. Thankfully, Forsan didn't have to make that road trip this year. Anthony had to come to Forsan and play that game. But that's a crazy district. And again, think of the travel going to places like Anthony. You've got Sonora, which is down to our southeast is in that district. Reagan County, very far to the south in that district. So lots of travel for those teams.
Yeah, and before we move on, I just want to say, imagine being Anthony and, driving 5 hours to get smacked up like this.
Oh gosh, I just hope they went to Big Spring and stayed at the Settles or something tonight. Got a little hotel for themselves. Didn't have to make that full drive back. All right, you mentioned Player of the Week. Let's meet this week's Player of the Week.
Here's tonight's Player of the Week, brought to you by New Tech Commercial Roofing.
So Jacob, our CBS 7 Player of the Week is Odessa High's Micah Cota. The Broncos' first win over the Permian Panthers since 2013. Cota threw for over 400 yards with 5 touchdown passes.
It was so awesome. It was after the game. I remember just screaming after the game. I was losing my voice. I was just excited, and just exciting. It was an exciting moment.
All right, some more games tonight. Getting into our 1A games, the 6-man football games. This is District 7 1A, Division 1. Grady beats Sands. That's a big win for the Wildcats, 44-35. State-ranked Borden County shuts out Garden City, 50-0. Rankin, the other team that's in this district. Rankin, of course, state-ranked as well. So it's going to come down to, it looks like, Borden County, Rankin, and Grady, 3 teams, but only 2 playoff spots.
I'm so confused by Garden City this year, Jacob. I mean, they really fell off.
I mean, yes, a very tradition-rich program. Last few years, been very strong, been beating teams like Borden County, like Rankin, contending for playoff deeper playoff runs, I should say, and being state-ranked themselves. But yeah, Garden City having a tougher year out there for sure. But I am just interested in this race here with Borden County, Grady, and Rankin in 7-1 Division 1. Some other 6-man action. Balmer-Ray was taking on Grand Falls. The Bears continue their winning streak, 68-8.
Now, Jacob, didn't they start out 0-2 to begin the
That's
season?
correct. They were 0-2 to start the year.
I mean, there you go. I mean, at first I was very concerned about them. It's just not very Balmer-Ray-like of the Balmer-Ray Bears. But, I mean, look at the way of how they're able to bounce back. This is, what, 6 wins in a row now for them?
That'd be 6 wins in a row. You doubt Vance Jones and the Bears at your own peril. We'll keep an eye on Balmer-Ray because, of course, it's not how you start, it is how you finish. And they could be a team that maybe makes a run through the whole playoffs and wins the state championship, for all we know, which is what we expected out of them to start the year. So maybe things will work its way back to that. All right, I think we've run through all of our games that we had coverage of tonight. We want to thank Jersey Girl Pizza for feeding our Friday Night Blitz crew, as they always do. Jair, parting thoughts from you.
We talked about 6A. We talked about 6A, and we talked about next week's matchups, but we have to mention Permian going up against Friendship, because if Permian gets a win next week, they could crawl right back into this playoff race.
Friendship's been a tough matchup for Mojo in recent years. Those have been some games that they've lost, where that was here or up there in the Lubbock area. But yeah, and Jair, you proposed the thought, kind of the dream scenario we've had. Yes. 4 teams out of the district make the playoffs. We have 4 schools here in our area: Odessa High, Permian, Midland High, Midland Legacy. Yeah. We could get all 4 of them in the playoffs.
There's a huge possibility if Midland Legacy picks up a win next week, and if Permian gets a win over Friendship, it could happen, folks. I mean, this is a very interesting year.
I think this is maybe the best year of, as far as storylines, drama, who's going to win, some really outstanding teams it looks like. I think this might be the best year I've covered so far here out in West Texas. Again, this is my 6th season, getting the privilege of covering West Texas high school football. And yeah, between the race that is District 2 6A, great teams in Monahans, Fort Stockton, Forsan, Wink, among others, it's a lot of things to keep an eye on as we go through the last, what is it? I think it's week 8 now. So we've got 3 more weeks left in the regular season, and then it'll be playoff time. So thank you for joining us here on YouTube. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you get little notifications when we do these lives. Like the videos, that helps out. Share them with your friends, of course, because now you've got this nice little video you can share with everybody that recaps all the Friday night games and gets everybody back up to speed. So we want to thank you for joining us here live on YouTube, and we'll see you right back here again next week.